that just because somebody punches me in an argument don't mean I have to beat their ass, because I have a tendency to beat their ass, not physically, but verbally. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Comfort. Thank you so much for being with me today. I really appreciate you. Welcome to my new subscribers. If you are a returning subscriber, part of the family, hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here with me once again. So you guys, today's video, as promised, is going to be addressing some feelings, some comments that you guys had on my last video. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and hit this playlist right here, and you can see that video and also a couple other videos that you might have missed, or if you're new here, you can get acquainted with your girl. Last video was basically me reacting to some highlights of the Challenge Rivals 1. And the Challenge Shade Room posted like a compilation of different highlights and clips, is like, you know, a jog, if you will, down memory lane, right? And it provoked the question, how low is too low, right? So if you guys don't remember, basically one of the highlights in the clip was where Paula and Laurel got into, it wasn't really an exchange. This clip wasn't an exchange. It was really Paula trying to interject in a conversation between Laurel and Wes. And then Paula got shut down and like severely attacked, insulted verbally by Laurel, right? I mean, I even felt like it was a bit of a physical situation because she was in her face, but you know, that's how Laurel does. Now, granted, you guys did have some good points, because I kind of used that clip to showcase why I am just really not a fan of Laurel. She's a great physical competitor, but, and I guess she's smart. I don't remember if she's like smart as far as puzzles and stuff like that. I can't recall right now. I know physically she's very strong. However, I have just always felt that Laurel is not a nice girl. Like, I just think she's a mean girl. I think even the person that she was supposedly defending, because a lot of you reminded me that, yeah, around that time it was some type of bullying going on of Cara Maria from Paula, from Wes. I think they even poured a drink on Cara Maria. So it was kind of warranted, and Laurel was really close to Cara at the time, and so she got in Paula's ass. And I even think at the time I kind of was torn as to like, it might be a little bit justified, right? And I'm talking about, she went in, y'all. If you ain't seen the clip, like, you really had to go watch it. Paula was like a known, even on her season of The Real World, to be struggling with anorexia. I want to say bulimia. I don't remember who it was, but somebody like pinched a piece of her skin trying to be funny, and she took it really hard, basically, because she didn't see herself as skinny. She saw herself as still, you know, struggling with her body image issues, essentially, right? So she was like, you know, everybody knows where to go with me. So it begs the question, how far is too far to go, or how low is too low when you are in an argument? And I feel like on a lot of reality shows or just any confrontation, it kind of comes down to who went too far, right? We can even take, for instance, the Adam and CT thing, the famous CT fight where CT said that he wants to rip off his head and eat it, and almost did, and beat Adam's ass and got sent home, you know, when all that mess with him and Diem, and he slept with Siobhan, y'all remember? And Adam somehow, some way got involved. I think he might have hinted it, or something happened where Adam got his ass involved. I do recall that the reason that confrontation took place is because Adam and CT somehow got into some type of verbal back and forth, and Adam felt like he was the big man on campus, probably because he had some animosity. And you know, Adam can be kind of lippy even though he's a little guy. Even from Paris, they had an altercation similar to that, which didn't go that far, but you know, he found him on the right day. You know, Adam found CT on the right day, and so they had a back and forth. Basically, CT was like, well, you have pushed me past my boundary, and this is what you get, right? And CT is not great with, you know, maintaining and keeping composure, right? New CT is, but anybody, y'all, if you stumbled upon the challenge at this point, when I tell you I'm Team CT, we've come a long way, okay? CT, all of this calm, relaxed, people talking about, oh, he just gliding to the end. CT never cared about a politics, okay? We stayed notoriously getting kicked off. I mean, CT and Team CT, we stayed getting kicked off because our boy could not keep his composure. He did not give a damn about a politic. He didn't care who was, you know, the person that was running stuff in the house. He didn't give a damn about them. He was usually public enemy #1, and he just said whatever he wanted to say and did whatever he wanted to do, and usually would get himself kicked off because he wouldn't wasn't able to keep his composure. I say all that to say, okay, first of all, let me give my thoughts on if there's a such thing as going too low. I feel like there is a general standard for too low, right? Even in court, there's a such thing as if a reasonable person would think X, Y, and Z. If a reasonable person could infer that you may be guilty, you could prove it to a reasonable person. So I feel like most reasonable people have a standard of too low, right? I feel like kids, dead relatives, dead people, comments about people's appearance when the argument has nothing to do with their appearance, I feel like is low. Even in like rap battles, when certain rappers go too low, I feel like there's a such thing as too low. But I do understand, like I said in the last video, I understand being so angry and somebody pushing you past your own personal boundary, and then you decide to retaliate, and just because your insult hit harder, now you're the bad guy, and now they get to play the victim, kind of like the Paula and Laurel situation. So I kind of do agree that may not be the best representation of how Laurel is a mean girl, even though I still stand by that she's a mean girl. I can put a compilation together, but I feel like that might be a little petty, you know? She's not even on this season of anything, I don't think. Is she on All Stars 3? I have to look at that. I'll be doing a reaction video to who might be on that, by the way, and giving my thoughts on that also. Y'all stay tuned. So I do understand being mad, and I personally, just a little tidbit about me, my brother has told me that just because somebody punches me in an argument don't mean I have to beat their ass, because I have a tendency to beat their ass, not physically, but verbally. I have a slick tongue, and I can be very witty, as I'm sure you guys have gathered if you've been here before. And so I can really say something that cuts. A majority of the time I choose not to. So I get it that you've insulted me, so now you can't now tell me how far I can go. Okay, let's say like Laurel and Paula, right, were having that argument or whatever. They weren't really even arguing. Like Paula probably said some mess before, and then Laurel just couldn't take hearing from Paula after the mess that she did with Cara, right? I think she could have really like embarrassed her and talk about how stupid she was without going as low to say you're anorexic. Like everything else I felt like was fair game, because if you're bullying Cara, okay, but I think that's too low, guys. But I have a caveat, okay? So just follow me, please. Physical altercations, which is why I don't fight. I've gotten in a couple of little scraps in my life, but majority of I don't fight, because I just know myself. If you touch me, I would be so enraged. I don't fight. Okay, I'm not the kind of person who can fight somebody and then be like, yeah, I beat your ass and be done. I'm gonna keep going until you dead, or until somebody pulls me off of you, because you have threatened my life to me. Like whatever the situation that we're in, you had to put your hands on me. So that's why that Adam and CT thing, I feel like CT was justified. I'm glad they stopped him from killing the poor boy, because he didn't know what he was getting himself into. But Adam came up to CT after whatever sequence of events happened, whether CT said something to provoke it or not, whether Adam was trying to defend DM or not. Adam said something to CT. By the way, guys, I was going to do I did a reaction video to the CT and DM love story, but Viacom, CBS, MTV, all of them made me take it down. So just FYI, I know I'd mentioned I would do that for my amazing subscriber that suggested that. That's why I couldn't post it, girl. Like I might figure out a way to give my thoughts on it. You know, I do want to do a video about my history with, you know, how I joined Team CT in the first place. I might do that, and DM will definitely be a part of that story. But child, it made me take it down, girl. So just FYI. But back to it. CT and Adam came up to CT and knocked a beer into his face. Yeah, hold on. Because I feel like after that, it was like, he's a monster. He's a monster. Even I think even DM trying to say something to CT when they were getting into that argument back and forth on the bus. She was like, you're a monster. You push somebody's head into a wall. You know what I mean? Yes, that's crazy. It's a lot. However, if you touch me, I feel like it's fair game. It's fair game. Just pray that there's somebody around to stop it before it really goes too far. I think that you should be only rely on your physical ability. I don't think that you should be pulling out weapons. I think that is too far, right? But I think, I mean, if you touch me, if you punch me and I beat your ass, I think it's justified. Like you touched me. You wanted to inflict pain on me, and because it didn't go the way you thought it was gonna go, now it's like, I'm gonna went too far, I'm a monster. I don't subscribe to that. I never saw CT as a monster. I saw him as somebody who got provoked, and you got the right one on that day. Everybody's not gonna walk away from the little guy who can't fight. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I'm just really trying to put myself, imagine y'all, put yourself in that predicament, right? So I do think that there's levels. You know what I mean? But leave your comments below. I do want to read a really good comment that someone had, because several of you guys pointed out that Laurel is a mean girl, but this is not a good example. So I did want to highlight your comments. You know, I like to give you guys your roses when you enlighten me. Like, I just like the community that we've built. You guys keep me honest and keep me like being fair, you know what I mean? Because sometimes I be forgetting, y'all, it's 37 seasons. Like, I be forgetting. So I did forget, because even in the video I think I said I couldn't remember if it was provoked or not. So it was warranted. Just generally, I feel like just Laurel be doing a lot. She just does too much, and I think she just uses certain things as an opportunity to let the mean girl in her fly free, and I'm not with that. I don't like mean girls, y'all know, which is why I don't see it for them Big Brother folks. I don't like people who bully people. I don't like people who are shady for no reason. Like, I just don't like that. People who think that they are above others. You're not. You're a regular human being. You may be skilled in a particular area, but you are regular, degular, schmegular. Okay? So simmer down, Monshare. That's just how I feel about it, you know, but we'll talk about the whole Laurel thing later, chat. Y'all give me your thoughts. Okay, so the comment that I want to read is, okay, this commenter named TT13000. So they said, I do agree that Laurel is a mean girl, but as weird as it sounds, her mean girlness was justified in this example. She saw Cara getting bullied throughout the entire season and snapped when she saw Cara sitting on her bed, drenched in soda and bawling her eyes out while Wes and Paula were laughing about it. I most likely would have reacted the same way as Laurel. And I did comment back, yeah, I can agree with that. I do think generally she still goes too low a lot. So like I said, I still don't see it for Laurel, but I will agree that I feel like now remembering what was happening that season, I think it was justified. I do think people need to be put in their place, and I have a lot of feelings on it. I'll tie it up in a bow at the end, right? But let me just get this out. I do feel like everybody should operate in the ministry of don't start none, won't be none, right? Don't start no, it won't be no. If you know that you have a soft spot, don't go there with people. I know I have soft spots, and so I don't go there with certain people. But if I feel like I can go toe to toe with you, then go. Let's go. I feel like it is lazy to talk about somebody's physical appearance, especially if it has nothing to do with the conversation. But if you know that you're sensitive like that, then don't try to bully anybody for how they look. And I recall Cara Maria used to be bullied a lot about how she looks, how she dresses, whatever, right? And how she talks. So it's like, Paula, you don't want nobody talking about your appearance. So don't be trying to kiki or bully anybody else about their appearance when you know you're sensitive. Everybody knows where they can go with me. So don't go there with other people. So I totally agree with that. All in all, I feel like don't start none, won't be none. You can't expect everybody to react the way that you feel is appropriate, but I do think there is a general consensus for too low. I don't think there's any scenario where you bring up somebody's dead relative. I don't think there's any scenario where you need to bring up anybody's children. I really don't think there's any scenario where you need to point out anybody's physical flaws unless that is a part of the argument. If you call me ugly, then I got free reign to go in on you, right? But if we're talking about how I snaked you or something, why are you talking about that I'm ugly and you don't like my hair and I'm late and I'm whatever people say. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? What does that have to do with anything? Is that why you don't like me? No, you don't like me because I snaked you. You don't like, it's not because what I look like. So I just think that's intellectually lazy. But give me you guys' thoughts below. I don't want to make this video too long. I did want to address that because I said I would. I know I said I would do a live. I am going to try to do lives, guys. I record these videos really, really early in the morning, sometimes overnight. So it's kind of hard for me to do a live, but I will set a Saturday, potentially this Saturday, which will be the 29th of January. So please stay tuned. Hit your post notification bell so you'll be notified when that live goes up so that you guys can join me. I really want to hear from you guys in real time. I'm going to be addressing some other things that I feel like that challenge ties into. I want to do more of these talks where I feel like, you know, the challenge is like a social experiment, right? The greatest social experiment. And a lot of things happen where I'm like, this can apply in real life. So I'm like, let's dissect it and see how would we really react in these scenarios. Like, what if we were on the challenge? Do you feel like that's okay? Do you think that decision that that person made is right? Would that make sense? Would you do that, right? I really want to hear from you guys. Go ahead and comment below. Like and subscribe to my channel. If you like more challenge content, if you want opinion topics where we can share how we feel and just generally like just back and forth with one another. I really, really appreciate you guys for joining me here today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.